Everything I am about to talk about is likely to stir up some fires in the comment section, so I ask you to watch this entire video before commenting and before you dive into a fit of rage. Thank you. Prior to its launch, Destiny was already making history. It quickly became the most pre-ordered new IP in all of history, and as a result went on to be the best-selling new IP in all of history. Across the board, critics, journalists, bloggers, and YouTubers alike have praised Destiny for its visuals and its gameplay. The game features somewhat open worlds with hidden loot to be found around every corner, enemies to fight around every turn, and missions to be completed across the landscape. I personally find Destiny to be highly addictive, fun, yet frustrating, and I've barely stopped playing it since it launched. Numerous websites have already released their impressions of the game, some earlier than others, so there's little to no point in me delivering any kind of review. Rather, I want to delve into the issues that I have with Destiny. The game is fun, the game is compelling, although I'm not sure why, and the game has had hundreds of thousands of dollars pumped into it, and is already making all of that back and more. So what's wrong with it? First and foremost, I'd like to address the story that's currently in the game. Bungie are known for their huge, expansive stories. They did an amazing job with Halos 1 through 3, and told two brilliant stories in Halo 3 ODST and in Halo Reach. There were characters to love, characters to hate, characters to trust, and those who you weren't so sure of. So what happened with Destiny? I finished the core story of Destiny in about 7 hours, maybe 8 at a stretch, and felt like I'd achieved nothing. I knew the battle was against the darkness, but why? What is the darkness? What danger does it pose? Not once did I feel like this darkness was actually a threat, or that anything was a threat, in all honesty. Where is the depth? Where are the characters to relate to? The only character I can remember is the Awoken Queen's brother slash right-hand man, and that's because I absolutely hated him. Destiny is lacking the depth that Bungie have been known for, and that really is a shame. There's also the matter of subpar voice acting across the board, but I imagine that's pretty well known at this point. Adding on to all of that, the gameplay isn't all there either. While it does feel like a Bungie shooter, there isn't any differentiation between the mission objectives. Almost every mission starts with you driving to the waypoint, killing the enemies that are defending it, having your ghost hack the system, and then that's it. If you're lucky, you'll have ghost hack the system and then you defend for 90 seconds. If you're really lucky, you'll have to go somewhere else after defending, and then have ghost hack something else, and then the mission's done. I remember watching behind the scenes in Halo 3, and some Bungie employees specifically mentioned that they have their missions in Halo end when the story for that mission is done. They don't need the player to press a button, they don't need the player to interact with the world directly, other than through being in it and finishing the fight. So what happened? Destiny's story is not the core of the game. Strikes, raids, PvE, and PvP are where the majority of your time is going to be spent, and that's okay. But isn't that generally the way MMOs work? You do the story and then do everything else. Isn't that how Halo has always worked? You do the story, but most of your time will be in multiplayer? Star Wars The Old Republic, Guild Wars 2, and WildStar are 3 MMOs I played in recent years. They all had good, compelling, varying stories. So with all of the time and all of the money that went into Destiny, I don't think there is any excuse for what little story there is, especially when you look at the pedigree that Bungie holds. Strikes and PvE are fun. There's no denying that, so I won't bother talking in depth about those, mainly because I don't have any glaring faults with them. PvP, on the other hand, I do have some issues with. Again, we need to look at the past and look at Bungie's pedigree to find out exactly what is wrong with Destiny's PvP. Halo 3, in my opinion, had one of the best matchmaking systems that I have ever seen. Not only was there a true skill rank to balance players, but it balanced you based on wins and losses, and your general rank too. Of course, this broke down after a year or so when there weren't all that many new players to balance, but it worked at launch and that's what was really important. Rarely did it feel as though the opposing team had a huge advantage based on rank and on skill. Destiny doesn't have any of that. It seems to me as though there is no proper balancing on Destiny's PvP, which really lets it down. I find myself time and time again with a team of level 12s and below against a team of level 18s and above. People with much more experience are going against people with minimal experience. On top of this, there may as well be no restrictions on playlists. For those that don't know, there are currently 4 playlists for Destiny PvP, those being Control, Clash, Rumble, and Strike. At level 5, you unlock the Control mode, and you unlock the others as you progress. The issue is that higher level players can drag their lower level friends into higher level playlists. Of course, I am all for playing with your friends, but when the low level player is hugely underpowered and under-equipped, it just lets the entire team down. But that's not really something that can be fixed without simply blocking these players from the playlist completely, which isn't exactly fair either. So in conclusion, my biggest gripe with PvP is simply this. PvP needs balance and good matchmaking for it to work consistently, be fun consistently, and be fair consistently. Sadly, it doesn't feel like Destiny has any of this, which is a huge letdown considering how well Bungie have done in the past. Anyway folks, that's all I have. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I would like to remind you to be generous in the comment section, not against me, but against other people. If you disagree with them, don't just rage at them. See if you can have a discussion as opposed to a fight. And I will see you next time.